Citroen seems to be on a little bit of a roll at the moment. It's just announced the pure electric EC4 and the rest of the range looks quirky and interesting, and there's some seriously efficient powertrain options on the way. I mean, this is good because I really like French things. I mean, the French basically invented the chocolate croissant, so I rest my case. And the latest addition to the Citroen stable, well, it's this, the plug-in hybrid version of the C5 Aircross SUV. But before I tell you all about it, please do log on to electrifying.com and do all the usual stuff like and subscribe and click on that little bell icon. I know, I find this bit irritating as well, but I'm contractually obliged to say it because if I didn't, we wouldn't be able to afford to make any more videos.
So, this new C5 Aircross, the basics are that it's a soft roader with some French style that comes in variously conventionally fueled guises, and this plug-in hybrid. Another plug-in hybrid SUV. A bit oxymoronic in the efficiency stakes, but what have we got? Well, there are 5 seats, a chunky ride height and plenty of interesting things to look at. It's either cute or a bit too deliberately quirky. I haven't made my mind up yet, especially with this massive swoosh of silver that seems to cut the car in half. But I do like the way Citroen is thinking, because different is good. And the front looks as if it was designed by someone high on science fiction. There's nothing particularly weird about the bones though. The C5 Aircross shares its basics with cars like the Peugeot 3008, the DS7 Crossback and Vauxhall Grandland X. Engineers call it the EMP2 platform, but all we're really interested in is that it all works, which it does. As far as practicality goes, the boot might be a little smaller than the more conventional Aircrosses that don't have a battery pack under there, but those 3 individual seats in the middle, they all slide about so you can give either more boot space or better legroom.
You can also plug in the entire car, which makes sense because it's a plug-in, and that means that you get a 1.6 litre 4-cylinder engine driving the front wheels through an 8-speed gearbox, but you also get these badges, which means it's a hybrid.
Yes, that's a badge that says hybrid, which means that bolted to that gearbox is an 80 kilowatt electric motor powered by a 13.3 kilowatt hour battery hidden somewhere in the back of the car. That's 225 brake horsepower, a combined MBG of 166 and about 32 to 33 grams per kilometre of CO2, all figures which will please anyone who pays tax. It could save about £270 per month if you're a 40% taxpayer, which buys an awful lot of chocolate croissant. But that stuff will only please those of us who care about the environment if the car gets plugged in on the regular. A couple of hours on a 32 amp wall box should do it, providing up to 34 miles of pure electric range.
So what makes this Citroen different? Well, the thing I like about this Aircross is that it's very much pointed very firmly in the direction of comfort rather than perceived sportiness. And it's something that Citroen as a brand is very keen on because they've got this thing that they call the Citroen Advanced Comfort Programme. Take these seats, for example. They're designed to be as ergonomic and comfortable as possible rather than look cool but completely cripple you on a 2-hour commute. So there's soft and squishy foam on the top here. This is this inner panel. And then high density foam underneath that. The top bit cups the bottom of your bottom, and then there's optional heaters and a properly aggressive massaging function, which actually is borderline abusive.
The electric motor has been tweaked to be quieter and to run to higher speeds, therefore staying in EV-only mode for longer. The cabin has extra sound insulation to damp down any intrusive noise too. Then there's the suspension damping. Now, this all sounds a bit boring, but it's relevant, I promise. Remember how Citroens used to have weird suspension which made them really comfortable? Well, the C5 Aircross isn't quite that odd, but it does have some cleverness which smooths out our rubbish roads. Citroen calls it progressive hydraulic cushions, which were, believe it or not, originally invented for ultra-fast rally cars.
Now, the suspension has been designed to be squishy most of the time, but then firm up when needed, such as when you're going around a corner. So you get a kind of ride that relaxes you rather than enrages, and to a point, it works. Just mooching about, it really is excellent. If you're in hybrid mode and just using the EV, it's relaxing. But it isn't quite as relaxing to drive as Citroen makes out, because if you hit a big bump, it still does thump a little bit. Still, it's a little bit better than the competition, and that's a good thing. And you know what? It works really well when you're just mooching and cruising in electric mode. I've been getting nearly 30 miles of range out of this car, which isn't that bad at all. And it drives nicely, it handles adequately. It's not a sports car, but it never will be. And it generally feels, it's just a nice bit of kit. This isn't an exciting car. It's not even an SUV really. I mean, this is more of an MPV. So it's lower, it's more calm. It might look like it's got four-wheel drive, but it won't ever have it. It's front-wheel drive only. This isn't a car that can bomb across a ploughed field. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just not quite what you might expect. There's a few little neat touches though. It's got a little blue light just under the rear view mirror. And it's not just to try and pretend you're a police car to people you're following. It actually shows inner city cameras that you're running in EV only mode. So you can avoid fines when you're driving in town centres. Though I do wonder about showing a blue light out the front of your car. I got told off for that when I was 17. I'm not sure the law's changed. As far as the interior, do you know what? I really quite like it. It's a bit strange, but I like strange, and that's fine. There's a big digital instrument panel here, and you can change the views, mess around with it, do all the things you want. And then if you press this little lightning bolt down here, it gives you the display that shows the flows of energy and all the trick stuff that you get with a hybrid. There are three modes to choose from. There's electric, hybrid, and sport, and they're sort of accessed through this little rocker here. And the only one that doesn't really feel like it does what it says on the tin is sport, because it's about as sporty as me.
It's also got stacks of useful storage like this bin here. Again, that sounds like a little thing, but I found it all really useful. It also comes with 19 different driver assist technologies, which is a lot. Some of which feel a bit OTT some of the time. I mean, trailer assist is nice, but it's quite specific. And then there's coffee break alert. I don't need reminding that I always need coffee.
So, what have we got? Well, the C5 Aircross PHEV is a more efficient version of a practical, useful, and pretty good looking car. Are plug-in hybrid SUVs really the future if you want to be kinder to the environment? Well, probably not. But if this car fits your lifestyle, then there are much worse places to be. As ever, if you want to know more about the C5 or any of its competitors, then please do log on to electrifying.com, where you'll very much learn things. We're not sure what things, but certainly some stuff.
If you'd like to know more about the C5 Aircross and its competitors, the Peugeot 3008, or indeed the DSE Tense, then please log on to electrifying.com, where you'll find all the information you need to know.